Everybody, it's Lynn, the Go Live Granny here, and I'm not quite ready, but if I don't go live, then it starts kicking out the Facebook bits and pieces. So I'm just going to fiddle with the Sorry. We'll just manage like this. Okay. You've got some junk around. Oh, no, that's all right. That's things I'm going to show you. And I'm just going to have a little drink of water because I'm a bit thirsty. Before I went out, I couldn't find my water bottle. And of course, I found my water bottle when I came home. So let's see who's coming in. People are coming into the broadcasts there. So let's have a look and see who's here. Now, I don't know. I'm streaming on Facebook and into YouTube. And if you're coming in via the YouTube, by the Go Live Granny community page. Hello. What I was just going to say, if you're coming in from the Go Live Granny community page, it will only show me, look, it will show me that you are a Facebook user. So hello, Lynn, hope all's well, and hello, a good evening. So whoever's made those comments, it might be Janice, because Janice has put, hi, Lynn, it's Janice. And Heather's here too. Oh my goodness, we have you're in America, aren't you, Heather? We have America in the house. Aha, we had America in the house while I was out live streaming. We had Australia in the house while I was out live streaming. It's been a wonderful day, and so many of you will know that I've had pneumonia. I had pneumonia at Christmas, and my health was, pretty bad. But fortunately, thanks to the lovely St. Mary's, they've nursed me back to health, and I'm doing pretty well. You're in Ohio. That's lovely to see you, Heather. Andrew's in as well. Andrew coming in from Scotland. Janice, I've forgotten where you come in from. I know you're UK based, but I can't remember where. But I did, I haven't been live streaming for a while. I have felt pretty fatigued. It's taken me a long recovery. They said it was a long road to recovery, and I wasn't expecting miracles. And I thought it would take me, a while. And then I got an invitation today to go out and live stream the Mardi Gras, the carnival in Ryde. And, it's something I used to absolutely love doing. What I said to the person who asked me, hello, Mark, you're Ali. Right, wait a minute. Hello, you're Ali yet, and you're really famous, and you have Poppy and right. Okay, I don't really want that sort of comment in here. So if you're going to make comments like that, I will have to block you, Mark. So don't do that, please. If you want to stay in, just keep the comments nice. Otherwise, I will block you. We don't have that sort of language in here. So anyway, what was I going to say? Yes. So I haven't properly live streamed much. I have a lot of friends, Mark, and I don't think that you're going to be one of my friends. And I think that you're on a final warning now, Mark, because I don't think that you're part of our community. Hello, June. Hello, June. Nice to see you again. Hello, Rachel. Oh, look, it's lovely. That's right. Thank you, Andrew. That's right. You say it like it is. We don't want any rude chat here. We are a happy community, and anybody who tries to spoil it, well, I'm sorry. That you get one strike and you're out. Okay, so just back to the community that just to say what was going on. So I haven't felt like live streaming, as you know. I haven't been live streaming much. The odd live stream. Hello, Richard from rainy Birmingham. Fortunately, we had our rain this morning and not this afternoon, because of course I've been at the Mardi Gras, recording the Mardi Gras, and it wouldn't have been such fun. I wouldn't have gone out if it had rained, because having had pneumonia, I obviously had to watch it a bit. So what I said to the people who asked me, I said, look, I will come out, I will record if it's not raining. It was lovely weather. Yes, it was very nice. It wasn't too hot either. It was just very pleasant. And so I said I would come out, but I wouldn't go all the way down to Simeon Rec where it started, because to get to Simeon Rec, I need to take a bus and then quite a long walk. And of course, because I'm getting very fatigued, doing a walk like that was not a great idea. And if I'd done that, I then would have to walk all the way back again, to get to the bus station to come home. So I decided just to get the bus into the middle of town, where I could get off the bus, walk a few yards into Cross Street and do my live streaming there, and then from there go just along the road to get the bus back home again. And there lies the shenanigans. So Mark, now he's saying he loves my YouTube channel. Have you watched my YouTube channel much before, Mark? But you will realize that we are a nice community and we don't stand any nonsense. You're welcome in the community as long as you play the game the right way. Subtitle caption says, sorry, Richard, where is the do you mean you're getting subtitles when I'm talking, Richard? I don't know what would be happening there. Anyway, because I haven't put any subtitles up, but maybe you get subtitles your end, do you? I don't know. Anyway, so I was busy last night. I was doing a lot of crafting, and in fact, I didn't really get any sleep last night which was silly, because if I was going out today to do the live streaming, it was really silly. However, I've been trying to get into doing a lot of crafting for charities, and I've been doing a bit and then stopping, and not getting very far. So last night I just got right into my crafting, and I crafted right all the way through the night. So I probably will crash shortly. I'll do the broadcast and then I'll get some sleep. But I really, really enjoyed what I was doing. And then, of course, I realized that, I give a running commentary when I do these live streams. And last year, when I went down to Simeon Rec, and in previous years, they've given me a brochure of which schools are taking part, and there's a theme to the carnival, and I like to do the running commentary so that everybody knows. And I've had people. There was a girl on the bus who said, "Oh, I know you, and I watch your videos." And I said, "Do you like my videos?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "What do you like about them?" She said, "You." What she said was that you talk about the things and you share what's going on. Right, Mark, I really don't think you belong in this community. I'm sorry, but we really don't. I'm going to put you in a timeout, okay? Right, I'm going to put you in a timeout, okay? And we'll see whether we have you back in, all right? Oh, Richard. Oh, the streams. Yes, subtitles came up automatically. However, when you were saying you would have needed to take a bus if going to the Simeon Rec, the subtitle said I would need a bath. Well, I wouldn't need a bath. I had a shower this morning, so all nice and clean. Okay. So, anyway, doesn't it make you laugh? So, as I say, I was beavering away last night. Thank you, Finley. Finley's saying the island has nice events. It's Finley coming in there from Facebook. It certainly does have lovely events. So many of them, though. So many events going on the island. I know from all the ones I've live streamed in the past, and I can't get round to everything. I won't be going to the county show tomorrow. That's a bit too much walking, etc., for me. So I don't want to do that. Shenanigans. Andrew's had shenanigans. Shenanigans today. Dad ordered shopping from Asda for delivery between 3 and 4, but silly Dad accidentally put collect at store. So you had to walk to the store and get a taxi home with the order. Oh no. Well, I've had shenanigans and I'm going to tell you about them shortly. Have you been to the circus? No, I haven't been to the circus, Finley. Certainly agree with that, Finley. That I've been to the circus. Well, actually, it was a bit. I've been to Mardi Gras. That's what it was. It was a carnival, and it was a very fun carnival, and it was lots of children having a great fun time. Now we have Facebook user who's saying good evening, Lynn and everyone. So I don't know who that is. So if you are that Facebook user saying good evening, Lynn and everyone, if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, you should be able to give it permission to put your name in. All right, it's just because you're in the group, they need your permission. So Finley's saying, did I go to the Isle of Wight festival? No, I am not a festival person. I do not like big crowds like that. I do not like mud and all that shenanigans and toilets that are, all those sort of things that go with festivals. I don't particularly. I'm not that. My music tastes are much more classical. I don't knock a lot of the pop music or whatever you call it these days, but I would far rather have classical music on. I have classical music on at home if I'm not watching something on the screen, and I just love it. I find it very therapeutic. So I don't have much opinion on the festival this year. I do have an opinion on some of it. For example, I do have an opinion about our buses charging festival goers £5 one way or £9 for return, when they're actually charging all the residents £2 for per journey. And I'm sorry, but that is profiteering, and I don't think that's okay. I think that is quite wrong. But who am I to decide? I will be having conversations with the bus people, because I have two issues that I want to talk to the bus people about. One, I want to know what their thoughts are. Now, tonight, part of the shenanigans tonight was that we couldn't get a bus. Now, I had checked the bus timetables before I went out, and they didn't say anything about any buses being delayed because of the carnival. Now, I really should have thought this one out, because all the buses are going from the seafront, and of course the carnival parade came from the Simeon Wreck. It came along the Strand, up Dover Street, along Melville Street and Cross Street, and down Union Street, and along the Esplanade, which is where the bus station is. So why I didn't think about buses being, delayed. Anyway, so I was thinking, oh, well, I'll just go along. And as I finished my broadcast, I thought, oh, I'll just go along and get the bus, because I was very near the bus stop that I needed, which is part of my plan, that I'll go into town, I'll live stream from that part of town, and then I can get home easily. Ha ha, best laid plans of mice and men. It took, I think it was an hour before I got on a bus, but it didn't matter. There were lots of people at the bus station. Only no buses. Except you know what it's like. There's no buses, and then all 3 or 4 come along at once. Well, where I live, there's a bus that comes around the old biddies estate, as they call it. So it's a round route, and it goes all the way round, and one of the stops is right at the bottom of my road. Now, it takes me 3 or 4 minutes to get to that bus stop. Okay, bearing in mind I'm not walking as quickly as I was, or I'm not as not as back to normal as I was. I don't know whether I ever will be, but we'll see. Right, this show, Fabio, I am live, and we don't mind people coming in here. Right, Fabio, I don't think it's your business about how old I am, although it's not a secret. I think that we'd rather like you to just join in the community properly. If you're not going to join in the proper nice discussion, then I'm not going to have you in here. And I think, Fabio, I'm not quite sure whether you're part of our community. This show it's live now. And it's a community where we are nice to each other. And if anybody comes in here and is rude to me or to other people, then no, you didn't ask for my age, but Mark did. And he's already on a warning. Okay. And Janice is saying another nasty person. Yes, we don't want it. Life is not nice. There's a lot of horrible things going on in the world. This is a community where we like to be nice to each other. Thank you, Mark. I accept your apology. Now just behave yourself. Otherwise, you're out. That's right. Finley's saying be nice, people. Richard's asking me if they've lowered the purchase seats yet at the bus station, Lynn. Glad you have the trolley to sit on. No. And Richard is referring to the refurbishment we've had a £10 million spend on our bus station, and so they've spent £10 million reorganising things. They've got a lovely new ticket office. They've put perches like for budgerigars rather than seats for people, and then they're deciding that they're going to shut the lovely new ticket office that's just been built. That really makes sense, doesn't it? You know, this is a case of the railway people not talking to the council people, and I don't know. So that's it. Andrew's saying we hate nasty comments, no need for them. Hello, Helen. I think, are you new here, Helen? I'm not sure if I've seen you here before. You're welcome. As long as you're nice, I don't mind nice people coming in and chatting. But anybody who isn't nice will get excommunicated. I will block you because I can. We want it just nice. So no, Richard, they haven't lowered the perches. And what Richard's referring to is that they've spent all this money. So they've made a ticket office that they're now going to close. They've put perches instead of seats because they don't want people to sleep on them. Right? Okay. This is not looking after the community. We are an elderly community on the Isle of Wight. You know, there's a lot of elderly people. I'm lucky because I have my Navy Nora seat, which you lovely community bought for me. So it's a trolley with a seat, so I can sit at any bus stop. Most of our bus stops don't have seats, so that's really wonderful because I'm not supposed to stand for long, and so I don't have an issue, but lots of people do. And of course, when that was built, people started getting in touch with me and said, Lynn, have you seen the seats at the bus shelter? Because they know that I will speak up about it. I'm not going to go quietly on these issues. And so I happened to be going down to a meeting a few weeks ago. The new police commissioner, well, she's not new, she's been in post a year now, but the police commissioner for Hampshire and the Isle of Wight came to the island to a meeting in Ryde a few weeks ago, and last Friday she came to a meeting in Newport on the Isle of Wight. It seems that she's got a lot of good ideas. It seems that she wants to go back to the old way of policing. You know that bit where you had a bobby on a beat? They put the bobby on the beat in the first place because people wanted to know their policemen and get to know them and friendly faces. Then in their wisdom, they took away the beat officers and the whole thing fell apart because it doesn't work. I know my first husband was a beat officer. I met him when our house was burgled. So it wasn't all doom and gloom. But anyway, so now she's going to bring back bobbies on the beat so that, people get used to, those conversations can start going again. She's also said that she's going to put in 600 new police officers. I think there are 400 and something new ones. I can't remember whether that's across Hampshire and the Isle of Wight or whether that's just on the Isle of Wight. I think it's probably Hampshire and the Isle of Wight. So let's have a look and see who's coming in. Right. Hello, Corrie. Nice to see you in. Positive vibes only. That's right. It's a moan-free zone. I do mind you saying that, Fabio, because that's not the sort of conversation we want to have. So just be warned, if you want to start that sort of conversation, it's a no-go and you will be blocked. Okay? I have warned you. You have been warned. If you don't want to be knocked out of the conversation and the group, then please just keep it to the conversation. If you've got something nice to say, say it. But I do mind you talking about that sort of thing. Right, okay. No, Finley's saying Fabio is not nice. So that's it. You're on a final warning now, Fabio. Okay. So stop, Fabio. Not the place for you. No, I think we'll ban the user and delete their comments. There we go. Ban the user. I think Fabio now has gone. That's it. So we won't have Fabio in. Right. Well, I think some of the comments are banned. I don't know if they've all gone yet. Right. Okay. So now, what's Richard saying? Railway company graduate idiots who never use trains to close ticket offices and stand on platforms, getting people used to the ticket machines, like stupidness in supermarkets, monitoring self-service checkout. Absolutely, you have a self-service checkout, and all the things go wrong. And what gets me in Poundland, it really irritates me because I want to use a cash desk with a real person because I want to be served by a real person. I don't want a machine serving me. And of course, what happens? They've only got the person on the tills. They haven't got anybody else. So when the machine, when the automatic ones go wrong, the lady has to go from serving us in the queue to going sorting out the till. Is that progress? I don't think so. So anyway, going back to the perches and the seats. Gosh, I'm hot. It's muggy. It's warm. Let me have another little swig here. Let's see. There we go. If anybody's in who can tag any of our other people like Yvonne, Corrie's in, I know. Yvonne might want to come in. I don't know. Who else do we need? Patricia Marsden. She joined in the conversation the other day, so she might like to come in. Might like to be tagged. Pauline. So any of those people that you can think of that you could tag. Let's see. They might want to come in. Oh dear, you can see the big hole in my wall. I put a hook on here, one of those stick-on hooks, and it fell down and it took the plaster with it. That wasn't a very good idea, was it? Never mind. So wait a minute, let's have a look. So, right, the stupidness in supermarkets, monitoring self-service checkouts. Check out the YouTube channel, Jen on the Move. Wait a minute. Oh dear, that flipped. Hang on. Where did we go? Whoops, there we go. Check out YouTube channel Jen on the Move when they show how ticket machines won't even do simple ticket to Manchester, Piccadilly to London Euston. It merely costs saving for shareholders, not customers. Absolutely. And you know what? Of course, a lot of you, before pandemic, a lot of you will have seen me travelling the country, going to see my daughter or going to see my boys up in the north, and I had shenanigans. Do you remember? I would get to a machine and not get a ticket, or various different things, or I'd get to a platform and they would say that somebody would tell me to go to platform 2, and then when I listened to the speaker, they said my train was leaving from platform 10 in half a minute, then no way could I get there. So you had all those shenanigans before the pandemic. Well, today I had shenanigans again because I had to wait over an hour for the bus. Now, on my estate, as I say, there's this bus that goes round and it stops at the stop. There's a stop at the bottom of my road, and it literally takes me 3 to 4 minutes to get to that bus stop. So that's fine. They only come 1 an hour and they don't run on Sundays and they don't run in the evenings. But the number 9 I can get on, it's further away. It's about another 5 to 6 minutes walk. And don't forget, I am still in recovery from pneumonia. So I'm trying not to I want to exercise, but not do too much and make myself too breathless, because obviously that's not a great idea. So I decided that I was going to come home on the 37. Well, of course, where we were, the parade had gone past and it had gone down the Union Street. But of course, all the children had to walk along the esplanade. And where do the buses stop? Along the esplanade. So they hadn't even got to the stops. So they were sort of out of town, not in town. I think they must have had to wait out of town. And the lady next to me was watching on the on her app. I hadn't got my app. I hadn't got my phone out at this point, but she was giving us a running commentary, and she said, "Well, the 37 isn't even there yet." And then eventually, I decided that I would go on the 37. In between time, 4 number 9s. They say, don't they? You don't get a bus and then 3 come along at once. Well, we had 4 number 9s and a number 4, all of which I could have got on and gone the short stop up to near where I live, but if I go on the number 9, it's about 5 or 6 minutes extra walking. Doesn't sound a lot, but when you're at my state, is more challenging. And it's not only that, as I come round the corner from the bus stop, it goes uphill, then it goes down, and then it goes uphill, and not huge hills, but enough to make a difference. So I decided I was coming on the 37. So it took me over an hour, but I had Navy Nora, which is my lovely seat that you lovely people bought, the community bought for me when I was needing to get a seat and a trolley and a seat that I could sit on. So really pleased. Well, you would think, wouldn't you, that getting on the bus and coming home would be easy. Well, it would have been easy if we had one of the modern buses that didn't. So they don't cater for ladies with trolleys or mummies with prams or people in wheelchairs. We didn't have a wheelchair user. We did have 3 ladies with trolleys, me included. We had one lady with a pram. We had a lot of people on the bus. Now, some drivers would not have allowed me to sit with my trolley in the gap. But there were seats at the back of the bus, but they're seats that are like a perch. I've got to climb up to get onto them. And there was no way I could do that. And I couldn't lift Navy Nora up and put her up there. So there was a mummy and a child sitting in the front seat. And then they've got a pram, a pushchair there. And I said, oh, please, do you mind if I could sit there? So she was going to take the baby out. I said, no, leave the baby in there. That's fine. That's not a problem. But I need to sit down. So I sat down, but I couldn't tuck my trolley in anywhere. So we had this shenanigans then that there were seats at the back, but people couldn't get to them because the trolley was in the way. Now, some people might have blamed me, but I don't blame me. I blame the bus station. You know, this is like 2 or 3 people can get on and the rest can't. I mean, fortunately, we had a bus driver who, on the 37 bus, the bus drivers get to know us because it's a regular route, and they put the guys on who build up relationships. We're an elderly community. Not everybody around here is as old as me, but you know, it's an elderly community around here. So let's just move the comments up. Don't trolls have better things to do? Sheesh. No, I don't think they do, Heather. They think it's funny. So let's go on here. No, we don't have progress, Heather, here. Progress. I don't know. I mean, you know, first of all, spending £10 million on a scheme that perhaps isn't the best scheme. But what happened there was the 10 million was allocated to the island to redo the bus station. And then the council changed and we had a new council, and the old council were not, weren't the brightest in the bunch, and so we got stuck with a scheme that maybe wasn't the best scheme, and it should have been finished by now, and of course it hasn't been finished by now, so that makes it even worse. And then when you hear that the ticket office has been built, and then South Western Railway, which governs the island part of the railway, when they suddenly decide, well, they're going to shut the ticket offices in Ryde and Shanklin. I mean, that's just brain dead. We've got hungry people on the island. We've got homeless people on the island, and all this money gets wasted on making a ticket office that's not going to be a ticket office, because they're going to put the people, they're going to put a member of staff on the platform, and then rather than actually go to a desk comfortably inside where it's dry and all that and warm, no, they're going to stand somebody on the platform, and you've got to ask the person on the platform. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But then I'm not running the world, oh, am I? Andrew's saying his friend Elizabeth once asked in Poundland to be served by a staff member on a till, but staff refused. Elizabeth just dumped her basket and walked away. She hates self-service tills, and so do I. So do I. I want a personal service. I don't want a machine. I think you know my things on that, so I think I probably might have done that as well. But here they do actually acknowledge that some of us want it, so we do have this lady who's on the till. But as I say, when somebody needs help over the other side, we have to stand and wait because somebody else needs help. What I don't like in Poundland too, I mean, I don't do much, I don't go to the shops much. I do most of my shopping online at the moment, but what I don't like about Poundland is that they've got rid of their smaller baskets. Now, I'm not going to fill the basket right up, you know, so if they think that's a ploy to make me spend more in their shop, I'm not going to. So, but they do have the smaller baskets, but they put them right at the back of the shop. So I always say, "Oh, excuse me, could you go and get me a small basket?" Make them go and get me one. But there we are. Richard's saying it's humid now too. More thunderstorms due. Yes, I think we had a thunderstorm late last night or early this morning, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, Mardi Gras. And a few years ago, I think it was when I was first in Ride Business Association as the chair of Ride Business Association. Um, they cancelled one because it was thunderstorms, and being in a thunderstorm's bad enough, but if you're in a thunderstorm with a costume that goes right up in the air, that's an absolute just asking for the lightning to hit it. It's not a great idea. So they had to cancel. But it's always such a shame because so much work's gone into it. Anyway, we were lucky. The rain held off. It was very pleasant afternoon, and lots of work had gone into those costumes. I don't know how many of you watched the live stream. I was just trying to put it to post it up. I think it is live online. I had a few issues because shenanigans is what always follows me everywhere. Don't forget, I haven't live streamed for quite a while, and some of the processes I've got to sort of renew and sort of remember what I'm doing. I think some of the processes changed as well. So now we have a Facebook user saying hi, Lynn. So whoever that is, please could you go to streamyard.com/Facebook and put in your name, or just say your name when you comment. Just say who you are, because I can't tell. You're just a Facebook user, and I want to be more personal than that, and I want to greet you properly. So Finley's saying like and share. Richard's tagging Yvonne. Heather's saying here in the US, we have a lot of stores putting in self checkouts. I refuse to use them because they don't give me a paycheck at the end. No, that's right. Why should you do their work and then they get the money? Absolutely. So I agree with you entirely, Heather. And it was so nice. Heather has joined our community. We've connected through the Crafters Companion World, and Heather and Sarah Brown, who's another Crafters Companion buddy, she came in from Australia. So we had Australia in the broadcast this afternoon, we had the States in the broadcast, and we had the UK. Now, when I first started live streaming back in 2016, I went out and live streamed all the carnivals, and the reason I did it, as some of you will know, and some of you might not know, Visit Isle of Wight, and those of you who know I can't stand the organisation Visit Isle of Wight because they're very corrupt. They take they tax our local businesses. It was supposed to be a fair ballot. They didn't give people the information, so they couldn't. You can't run a democracy if you don't. It's not democratic if you don't give people a ballot paper. It's not democratic if you don't give them the information. So we have this situation, and they hate me because they knew I rumbled them, and when I was rattling the cage, they didn't like it. Well, I think they think I've gone away, but of course I only went quiet because I was ill, and now I'm nearly back, and I have things on my agenda that I'm gonna deal with it, but in my own time. Right, Richard's saying, have made comments on consultation in more professional manner. I can post a link in the community group if that's useful. Yes, okay, sorry, you've lost me a bit there. When I don't answer all the comments straight away, sometimes I get a bit lost, and I do find I'm a little bit more foggy since I've been ill, a little bit more brain foggy, so please bear with me. Right, so Andrew's saying, the local train station next to his work hardly ever has their ticket office open. When on train ticket inspector is not happy when you have no ticket in advance. How can you get a ticket in advance if they don't have a ticket office? That's like what Visit Isle of Wight did to me when the ballot was coming up and I wanted the list of the levy payers. They said that I was told that I could have the list of levy payers if 5% of the people on the list gave me permission. Now, how do I know who's on the list if I can't get the list? I mean, how stupid is that? It was just another tactic for being corrupt. But there you go. Right. So Richard's saying, very sensible, Lynn, the 37 much better. Yes, so I took the 37 bus, but of course, yeah, absolutely. Richard's added it up and he said 4 number 9s make 36. I was doing that at the bus stop. I said to the lady who was telling me where the buses were and whether they'd even reached the bus station yet. I said, well, if there's 4 number 9s, we've nearly got a 37, haven't we? You and I are on the same wavelength there, Richard. But no, and I'm not a budgie. So going back to the budgie comments, so part of anybody watching you will find out that I jump here and I jump there and I never finish half the conversation. So you have to bear with me. That's how I am. I don't think I'll ever change now. So I forget what I'm saying, but you can always remind me, and I can take it from there. So on this occasion when they just made the seats, excuse me, the seats down at the bus station, people had messaged me and said, Lynn, have you seen them? Because they wanted me to speak out. They know I will speak out and I won't just sit quietly there. And so I went to look at these budgerigar perches and Navy Nora, the seat on Navy Nora is a reasonable height. So I didn't have a tape measure or anything with me, but I had Navy Nora. So I used her as a way of measuring the height of the seats. And this particular one, I don't know which bus bay I was in, but it was one of the bus bays. And it started off at one height and it ended up like that. And so Navy Nora's seat, and I checked Navy Nora when I got to Ryde Castle, where I was going to meet the police commissioner the first time. I knew that Councillor Jordan would probably be there, and he's in charge of all the transport stuff on the island. And so I thought, oh, I'll have a word with him anyway. But before I went there, I live streamed the seat, the perch. It's not a seat. And so it was about, here's the seat. It was about that much higher than the normal decent seat. So you'd have to sort of perch on it, and it's narrow. And it's because they don't want people to sleep on them. Who are these unkind people? What does it matter if a homeless person goes to sleep on a bench? Tell me that. Tell me that. Do something. Help these people. Make benches for them to sleep on when people don't need to sit on them for the buses. So that made me cross. But being on the bus, this is what made me decide to live stream, because you'll just find it. I was playing a game of Tetris with me and my trolley on the bus, because basically it was some buses have a little gap at the some of our buses. They always have 2 seats right at the front. Then they have a little bit for putting a one suitcase or one bag or something, not very big luggage place. And then they have an area where you could put a wheelchair. And I have yet to find out why they put a pole in the middle. I don't fancy doing pole dancing on the bus. And that pole is such a nuisance because it gets in the way of anybody trying to negotiate. So if a wheelchair's coming in, it's really hard. So the wheelchair has to get in there next to this pole. And then, if you've got a pushchair, some pushchairs can go sideways on, but some can't, because they're too big. And who's to decide who's the most important one to have the space? I mean, I'm really glad that the driver didn't turn me off, because I would have had words, not with him necessarily, but with the company. And the thing is, the number 37 bus, it's a bit like a community going round in a bus. Lots of us know each other. We're all pleasant and nice and pass the time of day chatting to each other. So nobody seemed to mind. But because you've got this stupid pole that serves no purpose, what happened? So 2 ladies got on the bus and they sat in the bit in this open bit. So there was a lady with her pushchair, and she and her child were on the front seats. and that one of her children behind. She went in the seat behind so I could sit on the corner of that seat. But I'd got my trolley. I couldn't pull my trolley in because her pushchair was there and she had a child in it, so I couldn't, squeeze it up because I didn't want to squeeze the child. Two ladies on the next two seats there, they had those more squashable trolleys. Mine is not a squashable trolley. So they were there. And then on the other side, some of the new buses don't have seats, facing forwards in the first bit of the bus. So it allows more space. And those seats on the more newer buses, you can tip them up. So if nobody's there to sit on them, you could tip them up and you could put a trolley there or you could put a pushchair there. Right, okay. But this wasn't one of those buses. This bus had seats forward. So I'm now sitting on the corner of this seat with my trolley in the middle. That was fine until people wanted to get off who were behind the trolley. At the back of the bus, there were empty seats. But that's all right if you can get up high. But the seats at the back of the bus, you got to step right up a big step. I can't do that anymore. I can't raise my leg right up like that. And if I did, where was I going to put Navy Nora? So what happened? So people wanted to get off the bus. So rather than me have a clog up here and they wouldn't be able to get by unless I got off the bus and then got back on the bus with Navy Nora, I could see that if they waited, we could push the trolley to the back of the bus. They could come out of their seats and then we could bring the trolley back to me. So I organised this little troop movement. Of course, then more people wanted to get off the bus. Then people wanted to get on the bus. So it was like a comedy sketch. It was and it wasn't. And it was fine until towards the end of the journey. Lots of people had got off by this time. So there weren't so many people. Towards the end of the journey, somebody who used to be a friend of mine and then suddenly decided she didn't want to be a friend of mine anymore got on the bus. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be intimidated by her. I don't know whatever I did, and have you got people like that in your lives who come in and then suddenly don't like you for whatever reason? You never did anything or you never know you did anything. Wait a minute, let's have a look. 90% of the time Glasgow buses heading in your direction are standing room only. Buses are modern but not fit for purpose because always full in the evening. Absolutely. Now let's have a look. Right, we seem to have a few stupid people coming in. So I'm thinking that, right, okay, let's do another ban that user. So that one can go. Right, let's have a look. Need buses like in Holland, which have two doors and contactless pad at the rear door. Means a lot quicker loading and unloading. Yes, because if you come on at the front and go off somewhere else, of course it's easier, isn't it? But if they didn't put stupid poles in the middle as well, I've never yet seen anybody do a pole dance there, so I don't know what the pole's for. Anyway, right, so right, Filippo is a troll and needs to be removed. Okay, right, so he's banned and his comments have been removed. Right, Gemstone de Solide. I don't know who that is. Let's see. Right, okay. So Gemstone, if you're polite, you can stay. If you're not, I will kick you out. Okay? You have been warned. We're a very friendly organisation here. We don't like people who spoil it. Okay? And, I've been a teacher. I was a teacher for years and I don't have any nonsense. Okay? We've got a Facebook user saying hello and sending a kiss. So if that's you, can you let me know it's you? Why mustn't I say your name, Gemstone de Solide? If you don't want me to say your name, then I'm sorry, but you're going to go. Okay? All right. So the last. Well, sorry, I don't. No, that's another user. I don't know why we've got all these people coming in like this tonight. So that's another one banned. Okay. Don't tell me to shush. It's not okay. Right. Hello, Jake. Hi, Jake. Did you get to the Mardi Gras today? I didn't see you, and I had an hour's wait for the bus. You must have just heard. I don't know if you heard that or if you only just come in. That's right. Finley's saying this is not a school playground. Be nice. It's not a school. No, it's not a school playground. We like to just be nice to each other here. Um, Somebody, right, so whoever's on the whoever's coming in from the community group there, um says, I've just tuned in and you're talking about pole dancing. Have you taken up a new hobby? Oh, it's Tracy. Hello, Tracy. No, I just wanted to get home on a bus and it took an hour for the bus to come, and then of course the bus was crowded, and they've got that stupid pole in the down in I never know what that pole's for in the bus, and it stops people getting past each other, especially when we've got Navy Nora, which is my trolley, and other people's trolleys. We didn't have anybody in a wheelchair this time. But, I really want to ask the people at Southern Vectis to come out on the bus on one of these occasions. You bet your bottom dollar if they came out with me on the bus, there would be nobody else with a trolley, there would be nobody with a pram, and there would be nobody with a wheelchair. Not only did that all irritate me, but it made me smile in another way, because I knew that I would be chatting about it to you. It gave me a reason to come live and just have a little bit of fun and laughter. Um, Now I've forgotten what I was going to say, but I think that's Ailey coming in. She's saying good evening from Scotland, and I would imagine that's her. Um, Trolls have nothing better to do tonight. It's shocking and rude. It is, and we don't want it. And they're just banned. I've got a button that I can just ban them. Right. No polls on the Dutch buses. Do you mean no polls, no people from Poland, or do you need no polls? I think I know what you mean. And they have this weird system called interconnection, where trams, buses, and trains link up and are spotless. Well, there's a thing, isn't it? Fancy making them spotless and clean. Wouldn't that be nice? Right. So, um, right. So so Jake did watch the Mardi Gras, but he was at the seafront. Glad to hear you got to film it. I have filmed it, Jake, and it is live on my YouTube channel. I wanted to sort of push it out and put it on the Facebook page and let everybody know who might have been in the Mardi Gras, because they liked it. They can't see it if they're in it, can they? But I was having issues, and I wanted to put all the information. That real estate under when you see a YouTube video, there's all this blank space down here where you can do all your advertising, and I usually put all my links to my sites there. But if it's something like the Mardi Gras, I want to put all the information so people can link to the new carnival company, or the lovely lady who had the beautiful costume on, or Jake, no, not Jake, it was Joel, wasn't it, who had this wonderful costume that he'd done as part of his university studies and his show. So that was, but there you go. Right. So Tracy's already watched the live stream. I don't know. Good luck with that, Lynn. And I think he means talking to the Southern Vectis people. They don't use them. Just they have company cars. Yeah. But you know what made me even more irritated? I'm sitting on the bus and the Visit Isle of Wight sign comes up. And those people who, heard me say just now, I do not like Visit Isle of Wight. They are a corrupt organisation. They don't. I mean, Mardi Gras is a brilliant thing. Why don't they, as the marketing people, why don't they video it themselves and put it up so that it would attract more people from the mainland? Because I know if I had a young family and I saw I could go on the holiday to the Isle of Wight, and they've got carnivals and they've got all these things going on for the children, that would pull me. That would be a great marketing ploy. But no, they don't do it. But you know what? I actually said that in my video because I don't care. I've got nothing to lose. They are not marketing the island with videos and that. And I said it. They won't like it, but I don't care. I'm past caring now. But I think, some people would say, oh, you can't say that. Yes, I can. I can say what I like. I didn't say anything that wasn't true. So, oh, hello, Ailey. Nice it was you. Are you down in Ryde for Pride next week? I'll see how I feel. it was a very pleasant experience of going to town. I really enjoyed it. I thought I was going to come home and I was going to be absolutely exhausted. But don't forget, I finished live streaming and then I had a sit on Navy Nora for an hour waiting for a bus. So I wasn't exactly exhausting myself. I was chatting, but that doesn't exhaust me too much. And so it was fine. And then I only had to walk up from the bottom of the road because I waited for the number 37. So are you there? Are you there next week? I knew what you meant. I knew you didn't mean tide. I knew you meant ride. Right. So Richard's saying revisit Isle of Wight sign on local buses. Yes. And this I am going to get onto Southern Vectis because the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight has lied to me in the past. So has the chairman lied to me. So when I asked him, if they paid for the advert on the bus, or they said, oh no, Southern Vectis paid for it. I'm wondering whether that's true. I wonder if I ask Southern Vectis whether they will say the same thing. And my so for anybody watching in who doesn't know this, I mean, my regular viewers know, it's a hobby horse of mine. Visit Isle of Wight, a very corrupt organisation. They rip people off. We had a suicidal person, and they decided it was more important to take him to court because they were going to lose the if he didn't pay up. They were. If they had to take him into court, that they would have to pay court fees. So they were putting this life's guy at about his life at £58. That's what they valued their levy payers at, and that's the question I asked when just before I was taken into hospital. I went to the council meeting and asked that question: what value do you put on a levy payer's life? And I've never had a proper answer to that question. Julie Jones-Evans, who's the Councillor for Tourism, who also sits on the board of Visit Isle of Wight. And I cannot believe that the Councillor for Tourism is on this side and on this side. How does that work? That's a conflict of interest, absolutely. But she doesn't like me rattling the cage, does she? Wow, tough luck. I've got a lot more rattle in me now. So we'll do that. We should get some chips, mind you. Would not. Yeah, should have got some chips. Yes, but you have to be careful on the seafront because our seagulls do mug people for their chips. So we have to be very careful. So Tracy's going to watch on the replay channel. Oh yes, right. Finley's raised something quite interesting. He said Channel 5 are better at promoting the island than Visit Isle of Wight. Yes, they are. But something has, and they're repeating the jewel in the crown, which was absolutely wonderful marketing for the Isle of Wight. Nothing to do with Visit Isle of Wight, although they'll try and claim the credit. But they ran this broadcast last year, and it was really good about the Visit Isle of Wight, about people coming to visit the Isle of Wight. Well, except that one of the hoteliers got a really extra. He seemed to be in the video far more. So he got all this publicity. This week he's filing for bankruptcy or something. But his son has now taken over the hotel, and they had all this publicity, and what's that all about? I shall park that one there. Right. I missed your last comment. Sorry, what was your last comment? No, that was the Channel 5 one, wasn't it? Well, unlike Visit Isle of Wight, Channel 5 had part of their programme of the carnival, which is good advertising. Absolutely, Jake. Yes, absolutely. I think Visit Isle of Wight think I've gone quiet. When I went to court and said that, what about this person who's suicidal, and you're going to push him and send him a second summons because he didn't pay up. I said that's not okay. Anyway, they went ahead and they sent him another summons. So it's bearing in mind, this guy has said one of his options was suicide. Right. If you've got a suicidal person, do you push them until they go over the edge? You shouldn't. That's not the brightest idea in the book. And so that's what they did. They sent him another summons They told him he refused to pay his levy. He did not, and we'll call him Mr. X because I don't want to identify him because that's not fair. So Mr. X he said he couldn't pay his levy. He didn't say he wouldn't pay his levy. He said he couldn't. They wrote another summons back to him and said, you refuse to pay your levy. Well, I got mad, and this is when I wrote to them almost straight away anyway, and said he didn't refuse to pay his levy. He said he couldn't pay his levy. I said, and this, you're going to push him over the edge if you do this. I mean, I wrapped it up very nicely and politely. I wasn't rude because there's no point in being rude. You don't get anywhere if you're rude. And so I wrapped it up like that, and my brain's gone foggy again. Sorry. Let me have a drink. Oh yes, yeah. Hang on. So yes, I wrote to them and said that you're going to push him over the edge. That's not okay. I said, and have you got a duty of care policy in place? I can't take Jake's comment off there now. Where's that? No, I don't want to remove you from the stream. Sorry, Jake, I can't find your comment to take it off the screen. Oh, I've changed it now. Wait a minute. Oh, I can do that one now. So Jake, that is good advertising. Will the rink reopen? Ice rink reopen? I don't think so, Finley. I think that's a lost cause. Right, so Richard's saying back to the hotel, he said, yes, that's legal. It's legal. There's a legal loophole how the Sun can take over the hotel. Lots and lots of businesses on the Isle of Wight have not been paid who've done services for that hotel, provided things for the hotel or done work on the hotel. They have not been paid. He owes about $1 million, or I don't know. It was a huge amount of money. And he must have known all that time. But now his son takes over. It's a legal loophole, but it's disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. Yeah, as Richard says, it's moral. It's not moral. Sorry, yeah. Did you? Yes, and Tracy, I think that is saying about the umbrella tree. So for those of you who don't know, we have this wonderful tree in East Cowes, where Tracy lives and where Councillor Carl Love lives, and he put up a post saying it had just had railings put around it. Now it's one of these beautiful trees. It is it's an umbrella. It looks like an umbrella, and some years ago, the council tried to get rid of it, and there was an uproar. One of the gardeners who'd been connected to Queen, because it's near Osborne House, not far from Osborne House, where Queen Victoria had her country. She used to come on holiday, have her country home here. And one of the relations of one of the gardeners from way back in Queen Victoria's time, I think he attended. I'm a bit hazy on this because it's some years ago. Tracy, you might remember more about it, but they were trying to get the umbrella tree chopped down, and it wasn't any bother. There are plenty of other trees that are having issues. After all, that time when I was trying to get out to Cowbourne Mill, and I was on a bus and a tree fell down across the road there. They didn't seem to think that those trees might need preserving, but there's this one, and it's some people think it was to do with Red Funnel and they wanted the ground or whatever when they were changing all things about Red Funnel being our ferry company. But I don't know. I don't know much about it. I don't think Yvonne's in tonight. Oh, I don't think she is. I think people have tagged her, but I don't think she... Is it gin tonight? I haven't got any gin. No, it's a bottle of water. And I'm so glad I found it, because when I went out, I couldn't find it. I thought, where's my water gone? And I thought, oh, well, I found another little bottle and put some water in it. And when I came home and sat in this chair, there it was on the floor down here. So I found it. Right, so let's have a look. It is a lovely tree, Richard, absolutely. And I joined the fight, previously, I seem to be in on these things a lot, don't they? But then people give me the information and want me to act on everybody's behalf. Oh, I didn't finish the Isle of Wight story, but anyway, let's go to the umbrella tree. And so I know that I got involved. I know that I live streamed it. We have the press down there and everything, and it got preserved. It got preserved, so that was good, wasn't it? So going back to the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight, who decided that it was much better to send a second summons out, telling a lie on the back of it that this guy had refused to pay his levy when he hadn't refused. And so what I did was I wrote to him, and I'd already said in the meeting, you shouldn't be doing this. This is not okay. So I endorsed that and said it's not okay to do this to somebody who's told you that they have an option of suicide. I said, and what I put on the bottom was, and what have you got a duty of care policy in place? And I don't even think they know what one of those is. But you know what? I have trackers on my emails, and I deliberately only sent it to the CEO. Now, he might have somebody who looks out for him. They're not a big team over there, but he might have somebody that looks at the information. That email was opened 42 times, and I have never yet had an acknowledgement. This is just so rude. Even if we acknowledge your email, that's polite. Totally ignoring me is rude. Well, Julie Jones Evans, the councillor for tourism, she's ignoring me as well, because when I was at a court asking that question about the levy payer being suicidal, and then them wanting to take him to court if he didn't pay. I spoke to that's what I was asking. The question I asked back in November was what value do you put on a levy payer's life? And one of the councillors stood up, another one, and said, we must be very careful here. We're this basically messing with people's lives, and he wanted it investigated. And Julie Jones Evans, the tourism officer and a board of member of Visit Isle of Wight, said, you weren't there. So basically she told him to sit down and shut up, but she didn't quite say it like that, but that was the gist of what she was saying. And she said, you weren't there. No, he wasn't there. She wasn't there either. And I have a recording of that meeting, so I know bang on, word for word, exactly what was said. So because I forget, I hit the record button, so I do know exactly what was said, and I've listened to it over and over again. So when I asked about the levy payers, what value do they put on the levy payer's life? Julie Jones Evans said she would investigate. And then she came back and told me that they were squeaky clean. Well, that's not my sort of squeaky clean. If you push somebody and tell them that they refuse to pay their levy, and then you push them when they have suicidal tendencies, I don't think that's squeaky clean. Do any of you? Fight the good fight, absolutely. Richard's not surprised at the rumour about the red funnel wanting the land. I don't know. I can't endorse that because I don't know. Oh, hello, Patricia. Oh, that's lovely. Here we are. Patricia hasn't been with us for a while, but she and I had a quick conversation the other day as well. Oh, and now, quickly, we have one of our members of the community, Hazel, who lives in Australia, and often she'll come into our broadcasts, and she's a well-established member of the community. She was supposed to come to the UK when COVID hit. She had a holiday all booked, and she decided that she would come to the Isle of Wight to see us because she'd been part of the community, and that was lovely. And then COVID hit, and everything got cancelled. Well, she's coming again. And she's coming shortly, and I'm not going to say the details on here, but if any of you want to link up with her, she's on the island for 2 days. Message me, and so we don't want to put details out here for any of these trolls who think they might turn up to something. So we'll do it privately, okay? So if anybody wants to do that meeting, I have chosen a date and a meetup and a place or I think the place. And so if you want to do that, then please let me know. And Patricia, I've gone for the date that you could make rather than the date you couldn't make. So that would be nice. Hello, Blake. Now, Blake, identify yourself. How do you know? Did you just come across us in in that wonderful world of YouTube? And let us know a bit more about yourself. How am I doing? I'm doing fine, thank you. And I haven't broadcast for a long time because I've been poorly, but I am much better. And it was just the desire to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of humour again. When all that shenanigans was happening on the bus, and I found myself, well, if I move this way, that person can move here, or if I move the trolley this way, and it was so like a game of Tetris. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to live stream tonight. So I was lucky that I was allowed to be on the bus, but I've had other drivers say, you can't stay on the bus, you can't leave your trolley in the middle. So anyway, I didn't get tipped off. It was one of our regular drivers, so it was okay. I did try to squeeze in, but Navy Nora wouldn't be squeezed because she's quite bulky, because she's a seat for me, so she has to be bulky. So anyway, I think I've covered off a lot of those things, but today, as I say, wonderful, wonderful event. So much effort goes into the Mardi Gras. It's a new carnival company, but it's a whole team of people coming together, working together. Loads of schools, more schools than have been in it before. Did I bring my book? No, I didn't. I meant to bring my book with the details in, and I forgot it. So last night I had to write all the information down so that I could, because I like to do a running commentary so that people know what's going on. I can only do a running commentary if I know what's going on. Because I couldn't get down to Simeon Rec and get a program with all the list of the schools that were taking part and what order the parade was in, I just thought, well, I can just write. I don't write very fast, and I don't write very neatly either. It's a wonder I could read my notes. But so I wrote all the relevant information. I still managed to muddle up a bit, but not to worry. So there was some amazing things going on in that parade. And they do tutorials and teach people how to make the costumes and things. And during the day there was a mini Mardi Gras going on in St Thomas's churchyard, and they were doing face painting and all sorts of free activities. But they've done workshops and things to show, it's a community thing, and to show the children how to make the costumes and that sort of thing. So it's a lovely event. I mean, we have so many things going on in Ride. I can't believe it. It's almost like I blinked and it all happened. But it's amazing. Oh, and one of the most amazing things was when I decided to go to Cross Street, I wasn't quite sure where I was going to stand. I'd wanted to go and say hello to Adrian in Whiteside, the glasses shop, but he got customers in there, and then so I didn't want to sit in there. It was hot in the shop, and I wanted to go and find a position to sit. So I went a bit further, I sat outside his shop for a minute and I did a little live stream, and then I came up, I finished that one, and then I thought, well, I better go and get in a position in case it gets more busy. It wasn't too busy in Cross Street. I think the main drag would have been down Union Street and along the Esplanade. I went and found a position. Well, I went and I was going to go and sit on the other side, on a corner on the other side, and then I came across a lovely lady who I knew we'd exchanged greetings on a blog. Now she has a child with a medical condition, so he is in a wheelchair, and what was amazing that I read recently was that Ryde Town Council have organised to have these wonderful. So I don't know. I think the town council organised transport onto the beach. So it's one of these marvellous things that's like a wheelchair that you can push on the sand with great big wheels. And there's another organisation involved, obviously, to do with paddleboarding. I don't know all the details. I will try and find out so that I can put it. Oh, and by the way, I've got a new website coming, and it's just going to be basically a blog site. It's not going to have all the other fancy whistles and bells on it. It's going to be a blog site, and I'm going to be able to put my videos on there as well. But actually, just use it as a blog site. And so So anyway, so I met this lovely lady. I couldn't remember what her name was, but I remembered the title of her blog. So she's Michelle. So we had lots of chat, and she was wonderful because I had gone on YouTube, I'd gone on Facebook, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to go live on YouTube when the parade gets here." But I didn't know how long it was going to take to get up to where we were standing. And then because I was chatting to her, I didn't get back on Facebook in order to tell you when I was going to switch over to YouTube. So when I went onto YouTube, I said to her, "Oh, could you possibly find me and tag me and let my audience know that I'm over on YouTube?" So that was lovely. She did that. She took some lovely pictures. We had pictures together. I had pictures with her and with her son, and it was just lovely. But I'm so proud of the island. There's a lady I know called Jan Brooks, and she runs Isle Access, as in Isle like island, Isle Access. Hang on, let's take that, Patricia. Let's take your comment off of there for a minute. That's it. And Finley, I'll come back to your question in a minute. So yes, so Jan, I've known Jan for quite a while, and she has formed this. I don't know whether it's a community interest company or what it is. It's it's that sort of thing, and she gave us some of us a talk a long time ago, and basically, people are very bad at telling the world how good the island is for people with disabilities. Now, people with disabilities, if they want to go on holiday, they're going to go where the research takes them. So if the Isle of Wight are not shouting about all the wonderful things that they can do for people with disabilities, and I'm talking about disabilities across the whole range, because there's so many different disabilities. And she told us how much the island was losing in tourism money because of lack of information. It wasn't that the island was bad at catering for these people. It was the island was very bad at telling people what they could do. Anyway, Isle Access has gone on. She's progressed this Isle Access so well, and I was so pleased to see that this young lad was able to have this wonderful experience. I mean, it's not an experience I would want because I like the idea of paddleboarding or anything like that. I live on an island and I hate travelling on water. So, so there's no way that you would get me doing that. But it was just a delight to see. I'd read it in the, I don't know what one of the probably the Island Echo or something like that. So it was just lovely. So when she was standing next to me, I twigged who she was straight away, and it was lovely. And she took some nice pictures. She's loaded those up as well. She's pictures of me, and even even sorry, I've forgotten. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. That's not good. But I will double check the name. So anyway, so that was really good. The parade was brilliant. I saw Councillor May and found out that he's just become mayor for Ryde. I didn't know that. I knew that the other mayor was leaving after 4 years, but I didn't know who'd come in. Councillor May is a brilliant community guy. And he's ex-head of the school at the bottom of the road, one of the schools that was in the parade, and he is a great character to be mayor. And then his deputy mayor is Jo. I'm not quite sure. I'm not very familiar with her, but I will get to know her. And they've got a council meeting a week on Monday, so I shall go and live stream that if I'm up to it. Because I feel now, having done today, I don't want to make myself exhausted, but having done today and enjoyed it so much, I want to be back doing it. Right. So what are my thoughts about Sandown High Street? It needs some help, Finley. That's my thoughts. It does need some help. But I haven't been to Sandown recently, so I don't know what state it's in. Right. It's Richard again. Lost YouTube connection. Oh, I'm sorry you lost. Oh, so you've come back on Facebook. That's fine. Ride Illuminated Carnival. Blake, what about Ride Illuminated Carnival? You've just put that, but I don't know what did you put something before that I didn't connect with? Sorry. And then Facebook users asking me, how's my crafting going and what have I made recently? Well, it just so happens that last night or yesterday So I've been trying to do crafting. I want to do a lot of crafting for charities because I'm really enjoying my paper crafting, and I want to make a lot of stuff. Either some of it where so one of the charities, Embracing Age, they want greetings cards to give to people who elderly people in homes who don't have any family. So basically, they just want cards. They don't want funds. They want the cards. So I'm going to make them a box of 50 cards, and I've got quite a lot of them part done. So I've been doing this. I've sort of been doing bits and pieces, and then resting, and then thinking, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, and that's fine because that's what I needed to do. But I wasn't achieving any of my crafting, finishing anything. I've got some lovely. I meant to bring the high heels in to show you. Some of you will have seen them on my Facebook page, but I've got some beautiful high heel shoes in card, and I'm trying to finish those off and make them up into cards with greetings and things on them as well. They're going to go to the WOW charity because the WOW charity, and I'm presuming these people want them, so they would be able to sell these. If I had done it by this weekend, I could have sent them down to the county show for them to sell at the county show, but I didn't get that far. So, and I can't push myself. I have to do it at the pace I do it at. So they will have another event. So I will. They don't know they're coming, but I will offer them and see if they want them. And the idea of the high heel is because the guy who is running the fundraising, he's been on treadmills in high heels. The WOW charity is for supporting abused women, and basically the sort of tagline is to walk in their shoes, so it's that sort of thing, which is why he's in the high heels. So they're on I've got loads of bits on my table, but last night I just had this sudden urge to do loads of crafting, and I've got a piece that I've been commissioned to make for somebody's birthday on Tuesday, so I'm going to do that tomorrow so that the person's got a chance to come and collect it. So that's quite a fun, unique one that I was asked to make. And my sister-in-law's birthday is on Tuesday, so I've got those to do. Excuse me. But then yesterday, I had a parcel from Crafters Companion. I've actually cut back on a lot of things. I'd bought quite a lot of equipment. I only buy when it's really, really good deals. So I'd got some really good deals, but now I'm cutting back because I've got so much stuff that I actually need to use it, and so many of the things they bring out are very similar to something that's already brought out. So I look at that and I think, well, I don't need that because I've got this set and that sort of thing. So I'd cut right back. But yesterday, some dies arrived in the crafting world. Christmas comes in July. In fact, Christmas started in June for Crafters Companion. But I had a set of dies yesterday, and they came, and I have had some amazing fun. So look, I'm going to show you what I've been doing. This is why I went right through the night without thinking about going to sleep or bed. So I will go to bed tonight, and I'll catch up on my sleep now because I can't do that for more than one night. Look at these lovely little people. So all these are separate cutout bits that I cut on the die cutter, and it's such fun. And I could do these in fabric. These can be things to hang on the Christmas tree. They can be oh, that's red right against my red. You can't see it very well. They can be gift tags. I could do those in fabric and make them a fabric Christmas tree ornaments because the die cutters will cut the fabric as well. So we have, the snowman. Oh, I had such fun. Mind you, some of these bits are so tiny when you're trying to put the glue on, and you don't want the glue to squidge everywhere, and you've got to try and get the glue just where it needs to go so it doesn't spoil. So there we go. And we have a Santa. And we have another snowman with his carrot nose. And these dies are so tiny, and I have to be so careful that I don't lose them. When I went to my daughters recently, I took the high heel shoe, and we were making some shoes up there, and I've come home with one piece missing. It's not a terrible problem, but I've got the high heel shoe, and then if I want to make the heel a separate colour, the die that cuts the heel for the separate colour is missing. Now, I do have the piece of card that they were all stuck on, and I've got the shape of it on that card. So I could cut out that shape and use that as a stencil, or I could actually draw around the shoe, the heel bit on the shoe, on the other shoe die. It's a bit of a nuisance, but these things happen, and sometimes I'll find that a die has stuck to the back of my phone because it's magnetic. And so it might be that, it's stuck to my phone, and then I went somewhere else and it dropped off somewhere else. So my daughter's watching to see if it turns up there, and I'm watching to see if it turns up here. I've been through everything that I brought back, and it's not here. It's not the end of the world. What I say to myself these days, because I nearly died at Christmas and I was so close, and the doctor saved my life. What I say to myself is it life-threatening? No, then we won't worry about it. So anyway, so let's let's just right. So have I been sleeping in my chair? No, I didn't sleep at all. I didn't sleep last night at all. I went right through. I was so excited doing these. So there's a gingerbread man. Whoops, can you see the shine on them? There's a gingerbread man, but I spilt the glue a bit round his nose, so that probably won't be one that goes on the sales table because I got the glue squidged out. So that can go one that goes on our Christmas tree. Look, and it was so much fun. I had so much fun. But don't forget, I was a primary school teacher. And this is the sort of thing I would have done with my children in school, and loved it. And another gingerbread man. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. And then we got a little elf, cheeky little elf, and I had these googly eyes. They didn't in the thing. They didn't say to put googly eyes on. They cut a piece of card out, and I thought, I don't know. I'm going to use my googly eyes. So that was fun. Look, and don't forget, I've got young grandchildren as well, so I'm sure they might love some things like this. So as I say, these ones are done in card, but I can do them. Oh, there's a bit stuck on there, so I can do them in fabric as well. So that was that. There's a card happens to be sitting in there that's one of the ones I made. This card I made. I've got a template library, and the template library, it's got loads of stencils, and you draw around and through the stencils, and then it tells you which of the fold lines, and you end up with things like this. So that's quite a fun little card. Butterflies, I love putting on cards. I've done some box cards with butterflies on, and they're great. Then I had recently I'd folded a load of cards ready to make into cards. So this morning I did the next bits on them. So I put pretty paper on them, so whoops, hang on. So they're gonna you can write your greetings down there, and then they're gonna have all sorts of bits and pieces on here. They'll have a happy birthday or something like that, and more. I've got to decide what I'm going to put on them. But I went through my paper pads, found all the lovely matching papers that would go with these. So this is part of the batch making that I'm doing for the charity that give cards to people, elderly people in care homes who don't have any family. Look, so all these lovely cards. So look at that. Lots of lovely. Oh, there's a stencil in there, and this stencil is marvelous. Look at that. I'll show you. And my granddaughter inspired me, one of my granddaughters, because she used this stencil when I was up there, and I watched her. Now I'll show you what I've done with it. Look, I've put that piece of card through it, and then I've put all these little sticky all these lovely little gems on there. But what she did it on a piece of black card, and then she got a glitter pen. She did put gems on it, but she varied the colours. But she went along all the lines with a glitter pen, and it looked amazing. It looked very regal. So she inspired me, so that was good. So that's some of my makes at the moment. Hello, Debs. You're joining late, but it doesn't matter. And as I say, whoever says, have I been sleeping in the chair again? No, I wasn't sleeping in the chair. I didn't go to bed. um, are these all die cutters? Yes. Hello, Carol. Nice to see you. Let's have a look. Wait a minute. It jumped. These are lovely, Lynn. Would make fabulous Christmas tree hangers, or if made out of fabric, they would be good as part of yarn bombing. They would. I could also make them into bunting. You know, you could have them as Christmas bunting, or you don't. If you use the star is part of the set, so you could use the star. And not the rest of the bits, and use that. I thought of actually cutting out lots of stars and making a banner that says Happy Christmas or Happy Birthday or something like that. The options are, what you can do with these things is endless. I have watched so many programs during my recovery, and amazing things come out. You know, things that I would never have thought of that people are doing. So it's just lovely. They would be made. Andrew's saying they would be made. Sorry, made. Oh, getting tired. I mustn't be too long. Andrew said they would be good made as kits for kids or adults as kits, all cut out fundraising. Yes, absolutely. That would be an amazing idea. Yes, put it together as a pack. I have got some cellophane bags. I've got cellophane bags I'm going to put the cards in, but actually, as you say, making a kit like that would be wonderful. Yes, they are all die cutters, Carol. I haven't done a lot of stamping and inking. I'm going to have a go at that, but I tend to batch do. So I'll do things, you know, all the same there, and then things all the same over here. I have to clear the decks if I want to do the inking, which I do. And I want to do some heat embossing too, which is where you put some glue on and then you put glitter powder on the glue and then you heat emboss it, and it makes the most amazing. I never tire of watching anybody doing that, and I think all crafters are the same. If you know, the heat embossing is something, but I've got the staff, but I just haven't got around to it. I need to make more space on the desk if I'm going to do that. Nice stars, said Debs. If you don't already have a stamp or stickers saying handmade by Go Live Granny, then maybe something to invest in. Yeah, look. Ah, right. Look what I've got. Handmade by the Go Live Granny. When I was away, oh, you're back, Finley. Okay, that's lovely. When I was away at my daughter's, my son happened to come to the area where she was because he had a Christian men's festival to go to, and it turned out that one of the guys was going to be there, had a birthday, and of course I got all my birthday card stuff on the table. I said, would you like me to make you a card? So he said yes. Well, I made this card and then he forgot to give it to him, and I haven't checked to see whether he's given it to him late or not, but it really doesn't matter. He can't use it for anybody else unless their name is Barry. But you know what, I enjoyed making it, so it really doesn't matter. But on the back of it, I don't think it was my idea. I think somebody suggested that I wrote handmade by Go Live Granny. So I tried my best, neatest writing, and I did that. And Corrie saw one of my photographs, and next thing I know, she's ordered these lovely gold stickers to go on the backs of the cards. So isn't that lovely? So I think that's a big catch up of most of the things that I wanted to tell you. I can't think of anything else, and I'm getting a bit tired. Facebook user, who's the Facebook user saying, Carol, and do you still meet up with Yvonne King? I met with Yvonne this week, and Kath and John took me over, so that was nice. We're hoping to have this meetup in July with Hazel, who's coming over from Australia. As I say, she was supposed to come in the year that we locked down, and so she had to cancel her trip, obviously. So she's rebooked it. But originally, when she was coming to the UK, she was not intending to come to the Isle of Wight. But once she became part of our community, she decided that if she was going to fly that far, she should she ought to come and see us, and it was lovely. So I'm looking forward to meeting Hazel. So if anybody else on the Isle of Wight, or anybody like Richard who's not on the Isle of Wight but is coming for that, to meet up with Hazel, just let me know, and I'll give you the details. But I don't want to put them publicly out here, all right? Because you know what these trolls are like. Ideal World TV shopping channel closed down. Oh, did it? I didn't know that. It went into administration. Maybe they will sell their stuff off cheap, so maybe get craft stuff at knockdown prices. I tell you what, Temu, that new company, Temu, they're doing a lot of dyes for 58 pence or 76 pence or things like that. Very, very cheap. But at the moment, I don't need much more. I can't think of any more dyes that I would need at the moment. I've got great big numbers. I've got if I could do with some bigger letters. I've got some fairly big letters, but if I wanted to do much bigger letters, I've got huge numbers. I've got a set of 0 to 9 in huge numbers, and what's so nice is you can cut them out of any sort of card, or some of them out of fabric and that sort of thing. You can put them through an embossing folder. So one of the high heels I cut out in gold, and then I put it through a spotty embossing folder, so it's got dots all over it now. But I will hope to finish some of those off and show you. I do want to get to a stage where I can actually craft while you're watching, so actually get my camera looking down at the table, but I've got to work that out yet. So I'm going to go in a minute because I am starting to fall asleep. Exactly, read the trolls, absolutely. You've got a fan from Temu with water compartment and lights for 16.27. Were you happy with this service? I've sort of put off buying from them because I wasn't sure. But, I've got an order sitting in my basket, but it's only £10 because the things I wanted were so cheap. So I haven't processed it yet, but I might just do that. I've had some money back from Top Cashback. Oh, let's put the banners across, because if anybody wants to know, let's have a look. Wait a minute. I've got to go right down. Oh my goodness, there are so many things, so many banners on here. Here we are. Right. So that's link going across the bottom. If any of you want to investigate that, it's the Top Cashback site, and it has been, I think, the Top Cashback site for some years. And basically, if you buy through that site, they represent over 4,000 to 5,000 different stores, different shops. The supermarkets are on there, and then RAC and your insurance and all these things. And I don't know how I'd never really heard about it, but Tristan introduced it to me in February. I have not bought anything I wouldn't buy. Okay. So all the things I've bought were things I was going to buy anyway, but I might have shifted my buying habits to get them in a shop that was a better cashback. And so I have had about £50 in cashback. Okay, so that's not bad. So that's since February. It's I don't think it's going to be a get rich quick scheme. You'd only get rich if you were spending a lot of money and therefore getting a lot of cash back. But the supermarket, I buy my food online now because I don't go to the shops anymore, and so you can't do it through the app. You have to do it through the computer. So anybody who doesn't have time to faff about like that and always wants to do it on there, it wouldn't work. But it's been really pleased. I got £30 cash back come into my no, it's sitting waiting for me to claim it, because you can claim the money as cash or you can claim it as vouchers, and I think I'm going to claim my next lot as vouchers for Morrison's because I use them quite a bit. But if you get it as vouchers, you get more value. When I had a £9 one that I got before, I think the value of it went up to about £10.50 or £11 or something. So I thought I would do my next one as a Morrison's voucher and see how that works. So anybody wants to know that, go for the link, because if you go through the link, you get some money I do too, but it's not quick. It's one of those where you have to go through lots of processes, but it still comes out the other end. Any of you Crafters Companion people, I have got a link. The top cashback site. I can't believe it. I buy the cashback. I buy the Crafters Companion stuff on really, really good deals, and then I can still get extra cash on top of some of it. Not all of it, not on some of the mega deals, but some of the on other deals, I still get some back on cashback. So that's not bad. So if you want to know about that, then please ask me. And if you want to join Crafters Companion, if you're not already there, then this is the link for that. So I'm an affiliate for that. I mean, I don't do much with these things, but you know, £2 or £3 here and there would be quite useful. So that's those. Was that the right one? I don't know if that's the right code. I think it might be this one. I think I put the wrong code up. I've got 2 there and I don't know why. I'll investigate it. Anyway, folks, I think that's it for now. Thank you for coming in and supporting me. We have been on for an hour and a half. No wonder I'm feeling tired. I feel if I don't stop now, I shall fall asleep mid-sentence and just fall back in the chair and snooze. But I need to go and get my feet up. They need to be resting now. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm not quite sure when I shall live stream next, but I will try and get back to a more regular system, but I'll keep you posted. Okay. Thanks very much, folks. I'm so tired. Now, I wasn't when I started the broadcast. I was wide awake, which is why I wanted to do it. But thank you for supporting the shenanigans of the Go Live Granny. Love you lots. Bye. Hang on, let's just see. Was there any more comments before I go? Richard's saying the customer service for Temu is very quick delivery. Excellent. Good night and thank you. That's lovely, Heather. I will see you in the Crafters Companion group tomorrow, no doubt. Night. Good. Thank you. Yes, I'm quite surprised that I had any energy left to this evening to broadcast, but I did. So I wanted to come and chat, and it's been fun. But now I need to go and get some sleep. Bye everybody. See you soon. And end it.